Welcome to solverfy.
We want to write down the x and y components of the four vectors a, b, c, and d. Now, for vector A is, if this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis, vector A is like this, and it's 8 meters long. Now, obviously, because it is in the minus y direction, the x component of vector A is 0, and the y component of vector A is simply minus 8 meters, because it is in the minus y direction. Now, let's get to vector B. Vector B is at an angle of 30 degrees with y-axis, which means it has an angle of 60 degrees with x-axis, and it has a length of 15 meters. Now, hence the x component of B would be 15 cos 60 degrees. So Bx would be 15 cos 60, which would be 7.5 meters, which is obvious because cos 60 is a half. And whereas y component would be 15 meters multiplied by sine 60, or 15 meters multiplied by cos 30. By is 15 sine 60, which is equal to 13 meters. Now for vector C, makes an angle of 25 degrees with the negative x-axis, which means note that both its x component and x and y components are negative, but their magnitudes can be found out very easily. Because C has a length of 12 meters, its x component is 12 meters multiplied by cos 25, because that is the angle it makes with x-axis, which turns out to be, but because this is negative, we add another minus sign here. Hence, this turns out to be minus 10.88 meters. Now, Cy would be 12 sine 25, but again with a negative sign because it is negative. And this turns out to be minus 5.07 meters. Now, when it comes to vector D, vector D is at an angle of 53 degrees with y-axis. So note that while its y component is positive, its x component is negative. Hence, its x component would be minus, and the length of the vector is 10 units, and hence 10 sine 53, which turns out to be minus 7.99 meters. Whereas the y component of D would be 10 multiplied by cos 53 degrees, hence 10 cos 53, and it is positive, so we don't add any minus signs there, and this turns out to be 6.02 meters.